This is a comparo between the two vintage legendary old model bullets, a 1965 G2 and a 1973 B1. Both the motorcycles look so gorgeous and these models are more famous yet. The bullet models between 1952 to 1968 is called as G2 that comes with the three different type of chassis. This is a legendary 1965 model with a bolted frame. The B1 is considered as a successor of G2 and the models in between 1969 to 1975 is termed as B1. In front of us is a 1973 B1 with a bolted frame chassis. This 1965 G2 is a part British and a part Indian motorcycle. It has an original Royal Enfield motif on the tank. This 1973 B1 is a Pakka Indian made bullet. The Enfield India monogram was swapped with the replica Royal Enfield monogram on the tank. This typical G2 has a 3-screw breather, V-cut below the Delco, pressure relief valve bolt and the oil drain bolt at the right side bottom of the engine casing. And these are the some identity features of a G2. Meanwhile, this B1 engine is also very similar with the same identifications like a 3-screw, V-cut, pressure relief valve bolt on the oil drain bolt. But both the motorcycles have a different cranksweight internally inside the engine. The slow speed cruising ability is far better in a G2 when compared with this 73 B1 model. I would like to register here very clearly that the B1 models till 1973 only will have this oil drain bolt and the other remaining B1 models like 74 and 75 doesn't offer with. The 65 G2 has the two engine serial numbers. The serial number with the prefix G2 is the British production serial number and the EA, which means for Madras Assembly serial number. Likewise, the 73 B1 is also featured with the two engine serial numbers. One start with the prefix B and the other one is an Enfield India serial number. In the B prefix engine numbering sequence, the single number after the symbol slash which denotes the year of make and then a letter that denotes the month. In the year around 1972 and 73, the wheel bearings were changed from imperial to metric bearings and it was denoted with the letter X in the suffix. The EA numbering sequence is discontinued in 1974 and this is the engine numbering sequence of a 1974 B1 for your kind reference. When talking about the fenders, depends upon the year of manufacture. The G2 models have a different type of fenders in their lineup. The G2 models between 1963 to 67 comes with the bucket fenders. So this G2 motorcycle was featured with the exact bucket fenders when this model was out from the showroom in the year 1965. These fenders are more strong, rigid and more expensive too. This 1973 model was featured with the smaller box fenders like a typical 1973 B1 usually used to offer. Smaller box fenders were introduced in the end of 1967. The 65 G2 has the Armstrong styled double cup shock absorbers. Meanwhile, this 73 B1 has the adjustable spring rated shocks, but actually the adjustable spring rated shocks were only introduced in the year 1981. Both 65 and 73 have the off-width hubs at both the ends. It may look more identical, but the wheel rims and the spoke patterns were totally different. This typical G2 has the spoke pattern of 3 spokes at one side and the fourth one placed alternatively with the Dunlop rims, whereas the B1 have an alternative spokes pattern of one left and one right. This is the major difference in terms of wheel rims and spoke patterns of both the machines. Both G2 and B1 are so precious and legendary motorcycles that has the tendency to rule the roads on any given day. These fascinating old school machines are so valuable and very rare to see these machines that's been essentially loaded with a lot of original hardwares on board.